Imagine, if you will, an era of unprecedented prosperity, where the economy booms and the stock market soars. Then, in a blink, it all comes crashing down. Such was the tale of the stock market crash of 1929. But what happened to the ordinary folks, those who weren't draped in wealth and opulence? And what about the rich, the high and mighty? Did their fortunes remain unscathed, or did they too feel the sting of this financial catastrophe? In the Roaring '20s, America was a land of prosperity and optimism. The stock market was the golden goose, laying eggs of wealth for all who dared to invest. But behind this facade of prosperity, a storm was brewing. The economy was on the brink, teetering on the edge of a steep cliff. Overproduction in industries, widespread speculation, and misguided policies were all conspiring to bring the nation to its knees. And then, in October of 1929, the stock market crashed. The golden goose was dead. This event, known as Black Tuesday, marked the beginning of the Great Depression. The crash wasn't just a one-day event, though. It was a slow, painful descent into economic despair. Over the following months, stock prices plummeted, wiping out billions of dollars of wealth. But what of the common people? Those who had pinned their hopes and dreams on the promise of prosperity. They were the hardest hit. Many lost their life savings, their jobs, and their homes. The unemployment rate skyrocketed, reaching nearly a quarter of the population. The American dream had turned into a nightmare. And the rich? Well, they too felt the impact of the crash. Many lost vast sums of money. But unlike their less fortunate counterparts, many of the wealthy had diversified their investments. They had money stashed away in other assets, like real estate and bonds. So while they took a hit, they were able to weather the storm. However, it's important to note that not all the wealthy were so lucky. Some, who had heavily invested in the stock market, saw their fortunes wiped out almost overnight. The crash was a great equalizer, sparing no one, regardless of their financial standing. In the aftermath of the crash, the nation was forever changed. The government stepped in, implementing new regulations and policies to prevent such a catastrophe from happening again. The Federal Reserve's monetary policy, which had contributed to the crash, was overhauled. The crash also led to a shift in public sentiment. The once revered stock market was now viewed with suspicion and distrust. In conclusion, the stock market crash of 1929 was a pivotal moment in American history. It brought an end to the era of prosperity known as the Roaring '20s and ushered in a decade of economic despair. The common people who had hoped to partake in the prosperity were left destitute and struggling. The rich, while not immune to the effects of the crash, were generally better equipped to weather the storm. It's a stark reminder of the volatility of the economy and the stock market, and it serves as a cautionary tale for all. That unchecked speculation, overproduction, and misguided policies can lead to economic ruin. The crash of 1929 was a tragedy, but it was also a lesson, one that we would do well to remember.